28th of August 2025. Turned a bit wet the last couple of days in Ireland to let the fish get up the rivers. There's few little clips here and there that I could bring to your attention. One of them is that Nigel Farage, the Reform UK leader, who looks set to become the next British Prime Minister unless something untold happens, but it could be a couple of years more, and I'd say the way it's going, Britain will need a bailout from the IMF, and it will be run by the IMF. And I understand the International Monetary Fund is partly and mostly run by America. So you could have Trump running Britain. Now, there's a big banquet coming up. Trump is visiting Britain. And that Ed Davey of the Lib Dems won't go to the banquet. A big royal thing. And he won't go. that'll such an idiot. He's a mad windmill, mad socialist fella. Anyway, mad for the EU and everything. Isn't he better off? Aren't they better off without him? So anyway, if that happens, that'll be interesting. All the steelworks had to get government bailouts. They've kept pushing the renewable energy to such a degree that they've virtually crippled the whole economy of Germany, of France and Britain, and they want to build more. One of the things, however, about Nigel Farage, just to get back to him, he did say that he would recommend that Northern Ireland would have to leave the European Court of Human Rights, and by right Ireland as well. The problem is when he gets in, he's going to do the same as Trump, and he's going to do the same as I would do. And maybe that's why I didn't get a big vote in the election. I got a good vote, but not enough in the election. And maybe why the Irish Freedom Party didn't get votes. We'd catch every illegal migrant coming in or coming out and horse them straight back where they came from. Trump is doing it right now. Whether they like it or not, or whether my viewers or subscribers like it or not, he's busy at it. He has thousands of people under that Homer man horsing them back. So Nigel Farage has said he's going to horse them back as well. The problem is the European Court of Human Rights will block everyone. The European Court of Human Rights would give every migrant, they'd never accept the right of a migrant. And the other problem is to be deported. When the migrant comes in, when a case goes to the European Court of Human Rights with free legal aid from the taxpayer, it could take 5 years to get him processed. So you have these thousands and thousands of migrants, tens of thousands coming in, and they can go to the European Court, and by the time you get them out, it's 5 years down the road. Meanwhile, you have these people to deal with. And I'd say it's gone to the stage where they can't cut their dole at all, or they can't give them any different rights to the rest of the population with the European Court of Human Rights. Now, the problem with the European Court of Human Rights is it's written into the Good Friday Agreement. It's a guarantee for the nationalist population in the north. So do you see how efforts to bring peace to Northern Ireland, a 300-year-old dispute, has now been scuppered by having that written into it? Nationalists probably thought, well, at least if we have the European Court of Human Rights to hear our case if we're getting discriminated here, and it was helped to push the agreement over the line, at least if we get that, we have some guarantee. Now it's been claimed by everybody from Timbuktu and everybody. Now, taking the European Court of Human Rights out of Ireland with that agreement will not be easy. Not be easy. If I was the Taoiseach of Ireland, I'd get a military navy blockade, and I'd go over and I'd lift the judges. I'd take them out of it and bring them over here and imprison them for life. I'd at least attempt it. But that won't happen, of course. Now, President Trump has sanctioned the other crowd in The Hague, the International Court of Justice. They can't use credit cards or anything in America, and they can't go to America. Rightly or wrongly, I'm only saying that these courts do need to be confronted. But how we solve that is a big one. It's a big problem. Normally, the state here would not let them in. And then they have this other old baloney about asylum seekers. There should be no asylum seekers. Everyone should be kept out. We're overloaded. Out with them. They should go to the first place they arrive, which is Italy or some Southwest Europe place or Southeast European place. Ireland is not the first port of call for anyone, but this is the way it is. So I'm just bringing it to your attention. This is an issue. Now, Sammy Wilson of the DUP agreed. He agreed with that, but I don't think any of the Sinn Féiners or that will agree to it. So it's just to let you know it'll be a big issue. Or shackled. And actually, what that boils down to is that the plantations of Ulster that took place hundreds of years ago are still imprisoning Irish people. We're still caught. We got the plantation sort of sorted and the historical legacy issues sorted, but we're left with the European Court of Human Rights as a result. We can't win in Ireland. We never could win. I don't know why that is. Anyway, I would definitely support cutting the European Court of Human Rights out. And it'll have to be worked some way. So if Farage gets in, there'll be pressure for that. That's what he said anyway. Right, folks, anything else now I can tell you? On Trump and the tariffs and all that, you get no news from RTE or any of those or any newspapers or anything. The only one is GB News and the Telegraph. And the Telegraph reported the other day that the wind farms of Britain got 1.8 billion pounds sterling to turn off and produce nothing. And it's all in the paper. Oh, it's quite normal. That's quite normal. Yeah, quite normal. I got my bill and I worked it out. I divided the total amount of the bill by the units I used. And do you know what I paid? €1.20 a unit. When you divide it, and I did the very same exercise about 2014. I divided the total amount of the bill with VAT and all by the amount of units used. Now, of course, it was the family home. It was a bigger bill, a good big bill maybe. But anyway, it was 14.6 per unit, and now it's 1.2. It's 1,200 cents up from 14.6. So that'll tell you this is set to go on. SSE Electricity is putting up their cost of their electricity 10%. Now I'm with Bord Gosh for the farm. 10%. So already we have about 26% of the country not able to pay its bills, all in arrears. There's no more government bailouts. It looks like there'll be an economic downturn. I don't know, but how are they going to do? What will happen, which could happen, I think we'll see within a year, 46% of people unable to pay their bills. Now, I'm telling you, if they cut them off, I don't know what will happen. People will die. They're not cutting them off at the moment. Now, anyone that put in a meter that you prepay got caught badly because you have to keep putting in the money into it. And by the way, never accept the meter on the house, only or leave the old type meter there, but because you have to have an account. But anyway, what will they do? Will they shut off people? But it means now that the whole electricity thing, windmills, the whole lot, will be bored and possibly be by about 56 or 7%, maybe 60% of the people. Isn't that unbelievable? The rest will pay nothing. That's what they've got. Now, the other thing too is that a pub, long ago the pubs wouldn't have much overheads. A pub needs about 4 customers now in, drinking fairly well, to cover the light and heat, the light. And now when the winter comes in, there'll be the heating as well. And there's big trouble over fuel. It's still a big problem. Ukraine bombed the Russian line, Duhask or something they call it, into Hungary and Slovakia. Now that means Hungary and Slovakia are hampered in progressing and making money and doing well and having industry and all that. Now they're after knocking a big lump of their oil supply out. The Ukraine is demanding more money from the EU, and the EU is demanding Hungary pays into it. And so Hungary is getting thick because they say you blew up our oil and now you want us to pay you. And then, of course, the EU, just like the renewable energy, will find alternative sources. It's 3.5 times the price from America, and I still have grave doubts whether there's enough fuel in America to do. The American oil is not the same. You can't run diesel engines on it. It's good for gasoline, for petrol, but you can't run diesel engines. They have to export it and mix it with something else. Anyway, I'm only bringing it to your attention. Meanwhile, in Germany, I see there where they're now setting up military voluntary camps for young men, and they want people to join and become Heil, and join the. They only have the freedom to raise an army about a year, and they're getting ready for war. But they've said it's a forerunner to conscription, so you'll see conscription in Germany quite soon. Now I'll be pushing big time. We'll have no conscription. No one will fight for the EU or any of its countries, Ireland or anywhere else. And I hope that young people don't choose the military as a career. Of course, what they'll do is there'll be a downturn in the economy. There'll be less jobs, and people will take it as a career. But the day of doing good in the Irish Army or the British Army or any other army around is over. It's over. You're better off go to America and join the American Army. As I have relations did that. They're far out now, but they did it anyway. So anyway, the main thing is that we will refuse to fight. That's the big thing. And I'll be spreading that around, and my listeners in Britain and everywhere else, no way will we fight for Keir Starmer and his Ukrainian model boys. We're not going to fall for that. And Macron snorting white stuff on the train, and other boy doing something similar. We're not going to fight for those people. So the only thing is a lot of people feel that this will be fixed with elections. You know something, in Ireland they won't. They won't stop voting the way they always did. The Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael is embedded into the whole planning system, the whole county council systems, the government departments. They're everywhere. And I don't think you're going to see any change at all. But the big thing is, it'll change big time around us. So there'll be some crack if Reform UK becomes the government in England, and it's an English nationalist party. And Nigel Farage is not anti-Irish. He was over here. I was at an event he was at. He's not anti-Irish, but anyway, I know you probably don't agree with me. I personally would force every migrant out. They'd be put on big bulk carriers and put out. They might get £400 a piece, but they'd be put out. And if they were put out, they wouldn't come over. The whole immigration into America was down to 9 1 month, from thousands because of Donald Trump's action. And that is good. That was badly needed in the United States, and it's badly needed here. And any migrant watching me here, don't be under doubt. I want you gone out of here. No exceptions whatsoever. We'll see you back. There's nothing stopping having assessments. You see plenty of foreign people here doing jobs, doing work, that came in under a proper visa and had a job and run their job out. That's good, provided it's to a number, provided the number is reasonable. We can't continually to take people, even if they're good people. We don't have the housing, we don't have the resources. The other thing too is that a lot of older people now are finding that they're not able to stay at home, often widowers and widows, and the nursing homes and the care homes, I used to call it the county homes long ago, take them in. And it's not a place any of us would want to be going, but if you have nowhere else, it's better than nothing. At least you have a bit of comfort. It is sad to see people in their homes. But the thing is, we're going to be providing those places for the whole world. And unless the voter changes in Ireland, it'll be all Pakistan, Somalia, and you'll have people when they get to be 75 in those countries coming to Ireland for no other reason that they know as soon as the collapse or the fall of the street, they have to get a bed. And that's what is in store for us. It's frightening, really, but I don't let it get to me too much. Anyway, folks, on 15 minutes, I think that'll do. I'll let you go for tonight. Thank you very much for your good comments. We'll see you back soon. Bye-bye.